Okay, we'll give a little overview of the LeePro1000 for 38 special. I do cowboy action shooting, so I use the Trail Boss powder, the CCI primers, and on the cast bullets I get from Georgia Arms, I put the ALOX coating on them. As you can see the difference. It burns as it's going down the barrel, and it keeps your barrels from leading. And I got that from a book on reloading cast bullets, and it came highly recommended, so I do that. And I got the loading information. Hopefully I do that right. And so we're using the Lee Auto disc and the Trail Boss 0.88 disc, and it gives you 4.1 grains, which is 1 grain below the max, which for cowboy shooting gives a nice little ping on the target, so there's no not hearing the lead hitting the targets, the steel targets. So I got the LeePro1000 here. I've only done a couple things to it. I added a spring. Tractor Supply has a box of miscellaneous springs, and I added a spring to do the tension so the return works a little bit nicer. And I bent the drop rod here. It comes straight. Put a couple little bends in it, and just added a piece of cardboard that would, well, like from a cereal box or any piece of cardboard that has a slick on one side, and shove it in there, and it helps the brass fall down. And I think that's about it. And so the first stage you see here, that brings the brass down to size, and we just did the primer there. So the primer is gravity feed, so you have to make sure you keep your bin pretty full there. And on the next cycle, the brass is going to raise the powder drop, and you'll see the disc come out and drop the powder. There you go. So you can see the 0.88 disc size, which gives you the 4.1 grains. I just put a marker on it to remind myself every time. So we're coming back down, everything rotates. Primer, feed a new brass. I got a light here so you can see the amount of powder in the drop. Pull a bullet in it. Of course, that also, as it goes up, when it does the powder drop, it also flares the brass. So you can put the bullet in it. And now you're doing 3 things at once. Make sure you go all the way down, and that sets the depth of your bullet. In this case, I put the brass in the groove here, so doing a rifle, a lever action rifle, that keeps the bullets from getting pounded down inside the brass when it's sitting in the tube of a lever action rifle. So it just helps keep everything in place. And so there we go. And so I'm not a speed loader, I'm a safety loader. I just want to make sure everything works good. Always checking it. Take a look at your powder in there, and you just cycle. So just steady pace. I put my arm up here or hand up there to give me a little leverage, going back on the upstroke, seating that primer. Oops. There we go. And you just sit here and get kind of a process going, and you get a good bit done. Oh, I guess my little drop thing is not working very well right now. There we go. And as you're loading, you just want to make sure that your primers, if you can see that, your primers are in the view there. Occasionally they'll get a little jammed in there, won't fall down, and since it's all gravity feed, you have to make sure your primers are all in there. Once you see a gap, you just kind of hit on it a little bit, keep them going. So just keep an eye on everything. You can see the powder drop, put the bullet in, do the primer. There you have it. Might need some adjustments there, obviously. And so just go steady and safe and enjoy reloading. I started with a LeePro1000, Pro1000 4 or 5 years ago. And it's a pretty simple loader to use. Of course, it does take a little tweaking like everybody says, but it's a good loader and a good starting point, especially for the price. Okay, thank you.